young.
What's good, everybody? This is another episode of the established 1982 podcast, the geek culture podcast hosted by responsibly irresponsible adults that have loved video games, comic books, movies, and TV ever since 1982. It's your boy Wally Analog, and as you can see right here, pubbing as he so well does. It is Mr. 1%, Rolls Royce Lee.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. And those of you that are listening to the podcast instead of watching it, he was holding up his he was showcasing that shirt, that good merch, that good established 1982 merch in the form of that lovely t-shirt. Yes, and if you become a patron on patreon.com/EST1982 podcast, you may be able to get your hands on one of those lovely t-shirts as you have been a financial supporter. We'd like to thank all of our supporters who have done so up until this point. So thank you so much for your support. And that's at the top of this. Yes.
Buy the shirt.
Yes, that is correct.
More to come in the future.
More to come. Yes. As I always say at the top of every podcast, we are responsibly irresponsible adults that have loved video games, comic books, movies, and TV. Today we'll be talking about movie in particular, Wonder Woman 84. Now this this podcast is already turned into a treat for those that are watching, so I'll try to give you a play-by-play for those who are listening. And upon the mere utterance of Wonder Woman 84, faces are made, grimaces and disappointment. So we're just gonna get right on into the review. This was a movie that was slated to be released, I believe, the same year as Captain Marvel, and they were afraid down there at Warner Brothers in DC to compete. Am I correct? Was it that? It was the Spider-Man year, right? Wasn't it the Spider-Man year?
Talking about the first one or this
one?
No.
No. 84 was supposed to be released a lot earlier, even before the pandemic hit. Right? Hadn't it been in the can? Like they didn't. True, they were gonna release it, but they're like, nah.
Yeah, last summer, and then then they scheduled it for this summer, but COVID hit.
Correct.
So
they didn't want to deal with Spidey. Am I right? Or there was somebody they didn't want to deal with during the summer. Was it Endgame? It was one of them 800-pound Marvel gorillas that was coming out. I'd have to check that. You listeners and viewers, check me on that. This movie was posted. Long story short, the movie's been in a can. The movie was shot and wrapped before COVID.
So much has happened, man. Was Endgame 2019?
Endgame was 2019 because Black Panther was 2018.
That's right. So yes, Endgame was the big movie that summer.
And you don't want to deal with that.
No.
You don't want no parts of that. Rightfully so. I mean, right, it was the culmination of 10 years worth of Infinity Saga, what they ultimately called it. Anyway, Wonder Woman was in a can.
Right.
Shot and wrapped.
Wonder Woman in 84. Yes.
Yeah, WW 84. Shot, wrapped up, done. COVID didn't stop the shooting or production or anything like that.
Right.
And needless to say, we were all excited. Because Wonder Woman, the first one, was amazing. Matter of fact, dare I say, it went a long way. It was in many ways a defibrillator of the DC extended universe. I mean, because it was on life support.
Yeah,
it was on life support.
It was about the flatline.
Yeah, it was on life support.
Mm-hmm.
Because the only thing you had to go on was BVS and Justice League. Was it Justice League? Yeah, Justice League and no, Justice League wasn't out yet. Was Justice League out at that? No, it was not.
It was not.
You had Suicide Squad stuff. I mean, stuff that wasn't. We were concerned. Like, oh Lord, What is DC gonna do? And then Aquaman came, and Shazam started looking really good. So we were really excited because they were on a roll. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They were on a roll. Wonder Woman and Aquaman and Shazam, and then even people that were rumored to it being to be in upcoming movies such as The Rock, because he was rumored long ago for Black Adam, but then the movie started getting boo-boo, and then he stopped talking as much. He's being real hush about it.
Eyebrow went down.
It went down. It's the jabroni status.
Yeah, let me get back on this Fast and the Furious franchise again.
Yeah, let me get where the money is at. Right. But then as the money started rolling, looking really good, and you got Aquaman breaking the billions. It's like, okay. So now he's excited. Everybody's excited. Fans are excited. DC, we might be figuring it out. They announced in the Snyder Cut. Run and get your HBO Max for this Snyder Cut. And then Warner Brothers. We putting everything, all of our 2021 movies and Wonder Woman are coming to your home, to the homes of those with HBO Max.
Starting on Christmas Day.
And Christmas Day came, and I was ready. But then somebody here in the area decided that they wanted to drive an RV downtown Nashville, here where we're based, and blow up the street. Now, ain't nothing to laugh about. Nobody got hurt, thankfully. But the dude killed himself. Long story short, it was all over. Sure, if anybody has been, unless you've been off planet, you've seen, all the commotion surrounding that. Basically, that just rendered those of us with AT&T fiber without internet for 48 hours. So that's your boy Truly, right? Your boy Truly, yours truly, was without internet for 48 hours. So that messed up that part of my Christmas. I had planned to sit up and watch Wonder Woman 84.
Right.
So I couldn't do it. And it was me and actually the Cerebral Ninja were victims of this attack, as it were, on the AT&T internet infrastructure. And so the Ninja and I sat by and watched the reports come in on text message. Slowly, I might add, because our phone service was actually rendered a little bit ineffective also. Not completely dead. You can make calls. You might text an hour or 2 hours later, but we were getting review, a few of the reviews from some of the homies on the Wonder Woman 84.
Right.
I know I'm going all the way around the world, but I'm setting this thing up. Right. So I believe the first person was you, Mr. 1%, to send me a message.
Well, you asked. I didn't want to say anything.
Oh, is that correct? I can't even remember
because you were dying to watch Wonder Woman. And
you
were like, somebody else mentioned that.
You know what? Let's go back. Okay, let's go back. Now, remind you, I forgot to mention that my internet service did not go out until like noon Central Time, right? The bomb hit at 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what that's about. Like, you would have thought everything would have happened all at once, but it didn't. But I was on long enough, and I was gonna try to watch it, but on Christmas morning, man, you with your fam, you got to push stuff off. But during that time, one of our faithful supporters, our patrons, Jamal Weidman, representing Philly, and been representing as an 82 fan and patron from the very beginning.
Right.
He sends me a very short and to the point and succinct text through Facebook Messenger. Wonder Woman is boo-boo. And so, oh man, I was just like, no, because Mr. Weidman, he's pretty much on the level with us. If we don't like something, he probably don't like it either. And if he thinks something is great, more than likely we liked it too. Very, very, very rarely do we deviate. Mm-hmm. And when I was like, no, don't say that. I said, I haven't seen it yet, and I can't watch it until tonight, unknowing that I wasn't going to be able to watch it until Sunday. That Sunday. So that's one report. Now the second report was actually Mr. 1%. And I asked, man, you got your that's what it was. I said something, did you get your screening or something like that? Right. Tell them what you sent me back. It was the shortest text ever.
Oh, I just said, I'm watching it now and I'm getting woozy over here.
No, before that. You just said it was before. You said four characters across the thing before you said.
Sorry. I said BB84.
BB84. And you all know, if you followers of the Teenage Podcast, you know what BB stand for. Boo boo. And I said this. I stayed back. I was like, no, no, please, no,
right,
no. And so, red flag, man. Red flag is an understatement. If Mr. 1% calls something boo boo, man, it is boo boo, because you are the purveyor of positivity. Even in the worst of times, you always seem to try to find the best of things. That's what I appreciate about you, Mr. 1%. You always find the silver lining. But when you had none, oh man, I was concerned. I was like, and then I knew to hate this movie. I'm gonna hate it. So share with me, since you were the closest, to me in our circle to give a review, and then we would let's just get it out the way. We don't like the movie. We won't even beat around the bush. Right. We hate it. I hate this movie. But before we get into why I hate the movie, I want you, as someone who is so positive all the time, what ruined this movie? Like, what? Just go into your. I mean, however you want to do it. Initial thought. Just I don't even know where to start, because we're gonna go all day with everything that's wrong with it. So I'm gonna just let you begin. I've talked long enough.
I think movies of this genre, there's a lane that you go in where you just do way too much. And I can cite examples, like you have Spider-Man. What was that? Spider-Man 3. And I'm talking about the Tobey Maguire one, where, you just wedged Venom in there as a villain. Mm-hmm. When you start going into 2 and 3 villains a movie, now I know there's a sign that the movie might be trash, because you're doing way too much. Mm-hmm. This movie had Maxwell Lord and had Cheetah in it. So I was like, okay, DC's been on a roll. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy. Now, part of my frustration was I hyped myself up for this movie. We're all surviving a pandemic. We need entertainment in our lives. That's the only thing that gives us an escape from what's going on in the world right now. If you can just turn on your TV and go, for 2 hours, I'm going to enjoy this superhero action. Take me somewhere. And this is riding off of the hype of the first Wonder Woman movie. No, I'll take that back. I'll even go further. This is riding off the hype of when Wonder Woman was introduced into BVS. Like, Doomsday smacks her across the field. Mm-hmm. And when she gets up, she smirks like, I'm about that work. I'm about to, we're about to throw down. That's the Wonder Woman that I like. Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, she's a powerful woman. No man is going to tell her what to do. She's going to put in work. She's going to do what's right, and she's going to do what is necessary. This film, I don't know where the tone went. The first Wonder Woman was definitely about, women being empowered, portraying powerful, women, that kind of deal.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I didn't get that sense. I never got that feel. I felt like, for some reason, I kept feeling like that scene in Don't Be a Menace While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood, where Keenan Ivory Wayans kind of comes in and goes, message, so like, she's, let's break down the second major scene in the movie. There was this mall scene that kind of paints the picture of 1984, that kind of deal. That wasn't done well. There's these robbers that are robbing this artifact, which we're going to get into, which is a whole nother ball of wax. But she's doing all these theatrics, and then, she's winking at the young girls. And it's like, okay, I get it. Like, I know she's supposed to be that for the young girls. I know that probably sounds very chauvinistic right now, but it felt forced. The first Wonder Woman, it wasn't forced. It was like, she's Wonder Woman. We already know what the business is. She's not going to take any mess. She's going to kick butt. She's highly intelligent. Boom, boom, boom. Like everything. She's the best of the best, so I just feel like, just in general, I just felt like the movie just didn't hit the right tone for me, even on a superhero level. Like, just the story. Nothing was wrong with Gal Gadot? Is it Gal Gadot?
Gal Gadot. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gal Gadot's her portrayal of Wonder Woman. She's excellent. Chris Pine is great as Steve Trevor. I don't know why he's in this movie. That is part of the problem with the story.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's nothing wrong with flashing back or integrating that narrative in it, but the way he got introduced into the story, I didn't like. Maxwell Lord is a formidable villain in the DC universe. His portrayal by Pedro Pascal is a great actor. He's great in Mandalorian. It's just I keep pointing back to the story on this one. It just wasn't a good story. And if you don't have a good story, and again, I know that this is fantasy. I can suspend belief, but when you're asking me to do it all the time, that's where it starts becoming taxing for me. Where things just feel out of place. I'm like, okay, that's odd. Okay, that's odd. Okay, why would they do that? Okay, well, that doesn't make sense. Motivations of characters, that kind of thing. So overall, without just picking, I'm pretty sure we're going to pick at every single thing about this movie. For me, I just think the overall tone and the characterizations were just off, and the writing felt sloppy to me. And I hate to say it because I love Patty Jenkins as a director. I love what she did with the first Wonder Woman. I'm excited that she's working on Rogue Squadrons for Star Wars. But this movie here, it was rough to see that she wrote part of the screenplay. And then Jeff Johns, which was a surprise, I mean, he's written some really cool stuff. I mean, he's reintroduced Flash. Like he gave Flash a better like origin story and brought him up to date. But with this, it's just like there's some things in there which you're probably going to point out that just didn't fly, man. So that's my take on it without just picking it apart.
Yeah, the main and most important thing that you mentioned is the story, man. Like you can have all the theatrics and all the special effects, and which I wasn't really all hyped about the special effects. Actually, man, I actually kind of thought they were kind of weird looking, man. The story was just bad. The story. The plot was terrible. The manner in which the antagonists became who they were in opposition to Wonder Woman was just absolutely stupid. The wish stones and stuff. I don't know if we have another situation where, and this is, we've talked about this so much, it's another situation where we just can't find somebody dope enough to tangle with somebody that they may have made kind of OP. Now I know Wonder Woman is real dope, even in the comics. So you're gonna have a bit of an issue. I mean, she's the product of gods. So you're going to have that Thor, Superman kind of, difficulty trying to find somebody worthy of this woman's time. And so maybe that's where they figured, okay, let's come with this stone that, if you
was fine.
If you wish, you're going to have to lose something, right? You're going to have to lose. If you gain something, it's going to be at a sacrifice of losing something else. Yes, in this instance was her ability, was her power, right? I guess, but she was still doing a lot of dopeness, even having supposedly sacrificed it. But I just didn't like the monkey's paw kind of deal. I didn't like that, and I especially didn't like how it transformed Cheetah's character and Maxwell's character. It just seemed really stupid. The movie, in one word, is corny. It's mad corny, man. It's so corny. The mall scene you referenced at the beginning, where she, putting in work, it was campy as anything I've ever seen. And I get it. It's an 80. It's supposed to be set in 84, which was done pretty poorly. They did in no way conveyed that it was in the 80s. It wasn't very well done. Like Captain Marvel, say what you want about Captain Marvel, but you felt the 90s in that movie.
Yes.
I mean, from appearances in Blockbuster Video and vehicles and stuff like that. Like, it was very hard to get the feeling that they were in the 80s unless someone audibly said it. Now you may have come across there was one shot where they were in a little LA Fitness kind of workout, and you could see the hairstyles and the clothes and kind of the leg warmers and stuff like that. But man, past that, man, it was very difficult to determine whether or not it was in the 80s, especially when they were overseas doing what they were doing in the Middle East or whatever. So it was really, really difficult to tell. So there was that. And then,
can I stop you there? There was a problem with that. I felt like by calling it Wonder Woman 84, you're already setting the tone that it's going to be about the 80s. Mm-hmm. And yes, it was about the 80s, but the story was so convoluted that you forgot that it's about the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
which I found confusing at times. It's like, well, why don't you just make this for 2020? Like, why does it matter that it's in 84? What was the importance of it being in 84? What are you saying here? You know,
I have a theory on that, man. I believe they wanted to try to separate as far as they could on a timeline from
Justice League
and BVS.
Gotcha.
You see what I'm saying? If you're too close, then it's hard to distance yourself. But see, now you have a problem when you do, because they didn't want to do anything after the events of Justice League, right? Because they don't want to do that.
But here's the catch, though. Like with Aquaman, they didn't try to tie it. Well, no, I take that back. Wait.
They didn't. Aquaman made no references.
Right.
It's almost like you don't even know when. Did they make it?
They might have made one small reference to the Justice League or the events. I think I gotta watch it again, but I think what I'm ultimately saying is DC had already adopted. We're gonna make these standalone movies. We're gonna stop trying to connect them to other movies. So I think there was a lane that Wonder Woman could have gone in that didn't even mention the Justice League. They didn't mention the Justice League here. We're okay. Just tell us a good Wonder Woman story. That's all we want. That's all we want. We don't have to tie Superman into this. We don't have to tie Batman into this. It doesn't have to. They have proven that they failed at trying to connect the movies to each other. Mm-hmm. And I think we agreed with them, like, hey, stop. Just make a good movie first. Mm-hmm. Or a series of movies first. And then if you got if you got some overarching event, maybe. Mm-hmm. But I think they realized with the failures of like BVS and Justice League that they were doing too much. I will say I feel like, and not to cut you off, I know you had another.
No.
But I felt like I feel like this movie might have been a victim of when they made that shift and they said, okay, we got to turn down the Zack Snyder darkness. Mm-hmm. There's a distinct, like you watch a Man of Steel movie. Yeah, it's colorful, but there's this gray tint to everything. Yep. It's very dark, very moody. Yep. Very, a lot of gravitas, all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then you noticed after, like with Justice League, they were like, okay, this is our chance to make Justice League a little bit brighter. So they made the colors brighter, made Superman smile more.
Cobalt blue instead of that dingy.
Right. Yeah. Right. And then you started seeing films like Shazam. Wonder Woman was still in that vein too. The dark, moody kind of deal. Mm-hmm. I feel like this movie was a victim of them turning up the color dial and say, okay, we need to make this as bright and as funny as possible. Let's
right. It felt Ragnarok-ish to me.
Right.
We all know where I stand on that, but I mean, I'd rather watch Ragnarok back to back 3 times than ever watch another frame of that movie, man. Like, and that's saying a lot because I can't. Yeah. I know you
like Ragnarok.
I'm just saying from my perspective, like I hate it and I will watch it because at least I enjoyed the enemy. I enjoyed the bad gal in
Helen. Yeah.
Yes, I enjoyed her very much. Even though I didn't like the movie as much, but yeah, I agree with that. I think they tried to just rainbow it up, and like I said, those trailers gave me a Ragnarok feel. With all the primary colors that are really shiny and bright.
And I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
No, I don't mind it either, but it just seemed like that's what they were doing.
Right.
They're almost trying to reinvent Wonder Woman. But see here, needlessly, she was fine the way she was.
She was.
And then, like you said in the story, man, it had so many plot holes, and they, in my mind, committed the cardinal sin of prequel making. You cannot introduce new abilities to for a person in a prequel, because that would mean that those abilities exist.
Is this a prequel?
I mean, it's before Justice League and BVS.
Well, that's the thing. That's what I was trying to explain too. I wasn't trying to, I just came to the Wonder Woman trough. That sounds weird, but I just came to the Wonder Woman trough. It was just like, I just want to see Wonder Woman. I don't care about VVS. I don't care about.
Yeah, but it's in the universe, so you got to be consistent. You can't make me believe that she didn't feel as if invisibility couldn't be helpful against Steppenwolf or Doomsday.
Yeah, I wasn't putting
ability to fly. You can't do that. I mean, you can't do that. You just putting powers away now. It's like, I don't, I'm sure a little bit of flight and invisibility could have helped somewhere. Batman's driving that Batmobile all around in that area, trying to drive those, bring the demons. Bruh, make the Batmobile invisible so he can, once he gets them, it's like stuff that would have been, and this is me, I don't feel like I'm overthinking this, man. You can't, I know you don't want, people down there, Warner Brothers, don't want to acknowledge BVS and Justice League. I know you don't want to, but I'm sorry, to a degree, you have to. She was integral in both movies. She shows up in BVS, and both of them being Superman and Batman, looking at her like, who is this woman? When 30 or so years prior, she was in the middle of an extinction level event. That can't be forgotten. So you're supposed to know, oh, I remember you. You're that girl, that Wonder Woman. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no way in the world Bruce Wayne or Batman is will not have done enough research to know who that woman is. Now, granted, he might have been a kid, but he still would have remembered that. He would have remembered that woman in the middle of that crisis where nuclear missiles had been launched and the world was falling apart because people were making all these crazy wishes, and this dude was becoming an autocrat of the world. And come on, dude. That was a huge event. And that's one of DC's problems. To your point, if you want to do a standalone Wonder Woman movie, stop having these world-ending events. You see what I'm saying? To where stuff got to get reversed. The most ridiculous fashion ever. Renounce your wish, and then everything goes away. It was worse than Superman flying around the world and spinning away to bring Lois back to life. You got to figure out a better way. You don't have to have these world-ending events all the time, because now we gotta factor that in. It's to the point now where Flash got to do a whole lot of work to try to undo this. Oh, well, that didn't happen. You see what I'm saying? You put a whole lot of pressure on Flash to do this stuff for these multiverses.
That's the thing with DC.
I don't like when they do that.
That's the thing with DC that I've probably forgiven them on. I'm not trying to tie. When they tried to tie them together, it did not work.
But
I guess my enjoyment for me to continue to enjoy the DC movies, I have to say I am just watching a Shazam movie.
Well, Shazam had no ties, so that's easy. He's not involved in anything that's going on. They made mention of some stuff.
Superman right? walks into the cafeteria.
Yeah, but that's fine. You know what I'm saying? But there was nothing really cataclysmic going on.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? the stuff that they want the public within the movie to just ignore and act like never happened. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you want to retcon that, then you need to get to work on trying how to, figuring out how to do that. In the meantime, if you don't want to reference it, like you said, make a well encapsulated story. You should have probably done a Wonder Woman where Themyscira was under attack, away from civilization, because if you recall in the first, it had actually gotten breached by those who were participating in the World War at that time. Remember, that's how my man kind of showed up and they were fighting. Remember, they were fighting off all them dudes. Work with that. Work with the breach, and then now you can keep everything.
Yeah, I
visualized outside of the. I don't know, man.
I see what you're saying here, but you got to use the same logic for Marvel movies. I mean, there's some things that have happened in Marvel movies where it's like, well, why didn't Tony Stark, why didn't that come on his radar? Like all that stuff that went down with Doctor Strange where time is getting reversed and, I mean, the city got leveled, even though time got reversed and they corrected some things, it still got leveled. So it's riding a fine line, and it's all comic book movie stuff. I mean, how many times you pick up a book and they're like, oh, we're resetting the universe again. It's like, it's like a common thing. So I don't use that as unless they're just being on the nose with like trying to connect the dots. Like this is in the continuity, which I don't.
Maybe that's what they're trying to do. Maybe they're just trying to say, forget all that stuff. Forget Justice League, and we don't care about that anymore.
Right now,
to
your point, the way they introduced those new powers was silly at best.
It was stupid. It was ridiculous.
Yes. Do we need an invisible jet?
Nope. Terrible. I mean, I get it was a callback to Super Friends, but I hated it then. It was corny then. I didn't like it then. Don't do the invisible jet, and then don't patronize me with the actual uttering of the words an invisible jet, bruh. Come on now, that's just stupid. don't do that. We all see, we get it. You don't have to explain it to us. And like I said, it was a jet that was 40 years advanced of his skills as a pilot, that was sitting in the Smithsonian and shouldn't even had fuel in it to begin with. But he managed to fly it. Like that thing has been stripped down. That thing's not operational at that point, right? But he's flying it off of the Smithsonian's grounds. I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. Like, you don't know how to fly this plane, dude. This is 40 years more than what you're ready for.
Right.
You don't know how to fly this thing. Dude, and then let's just run down the line, man. Let's just run down the line. I can start from the beginning. The little girl, little Diana.
Yes.
Now, they made sure to show everyone at the very beginning with the little Themyscirian Olympics just how dope all these chicks are. They're all products of gods, right? One in particular, right? Zeus, right? Just one in particular.
Right.
Aren't they sculpted from clay or something so they're all dope. So like outliers like that.
Well, I don't think they're going with that theory in the movies, but
okay. So what
they're descendants from Zeus.
Okay. Well, still they are products of Zeus. So they're all awesome.
Yes.
Diana
is special because I think she's a product of Zeus connecting with her mom.
Okay.
So
is it okay?
Yes,
that's
how she has more of the power, I guess.
Okay. So that's what makes her able as a 9-year-old to be able to stride with the most long-legged Amazons with every bit as much speed. Because I didn't like that either.
Yeah, I didn't.
There's no way she should have been competing with those women. And anyway, she shouldn't really have been in the competition, because if you recall, and I had to be reminded of this by a good friend of mine. He was like, man, in the first movie, her mom didn't even want her to be trained. He's like, no, you're not going to train her. Remember, was a teenager before she found out that what's her name? What was her name? Her aunt, the one that's played by
Robin Wright.
Yeah,
yes.
She was training her on the low, but she was a teenager at that point, and that's when she found out that she was like, you know, being her mentor, as it were. She was long past that age of that little girl. So how is it that you just found out that, you know, she's getting trained as a teenager, but now in this movie here, she's good enough as a 9-year-old to run around? Something's not right. It's backwards. That doesn't jive.
Message.
No message though.
The message is like,
I get it, little girl power, but she could have been a teenager and it would have worked just as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing that I kept coming back to. Though we've grown up with these books, though we're still carrying the torch, these movies are not made for us. They want our sons and daughters to like the film. So they'll write things in there for them. And I don't know what the reasoning is. I felt like it was misplaced too. I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
because even message sending, does that still excuse the writers from remaining in continuity with their previous movie? With the previous characters movie? Forget the universe. You're out of line with what you wrote before.
Yeah, sometimes, and again, I'm not in the writer's room. Sometimes I feel like there is pressure from either studio execs to go, we're trying to hit this demographic right here. And when you're in the writer's room and you're writing, it's almost like, this'll get them. You know, it's like, and sometimes it comes off really obvious and you're just like, you know.
Like, I don't
like it was kind of insulting because it was like,
Indeed.
I don't want to say insulting. It was just awkward. I think what would have been more impactful is if she was a teenager.
That's right.
And she
college age.
Yes. Maybe still around that same age she was in the first movie when they had that first scene in the first movie, where she was around that age and cheated. And Robin Wright pushed her down and said, no, this is not the way to do this. You know, and
sorry about that.
Are you good? So I found that problematic. It just didn't make sense to me at all.
No. And I don't even think, other than trying to reach little girls, I don't know what purpose it served in the movie for her to have the little girl in there.
Yeah, and I was trying to tie that scene into the messages of the movie, and I couldn't connect them because I was like, okay,
there's no connection anywhere.
There's a reason why you were telling me this, that you don't need to cheat,
right,
to get what you.
Right, because but there was no instance in the movie where she was compelled to cheat. She was on. There was more. The theme was more selfishness
and lying
than
to herself.
Cheating.
She was lying to herself about Steve Trevor coming back.
Right, but that's not cheating. Like, I don't. It had no
awkward
purpose.
Yeah,
it didn't fit anything. And of course, and I'm jumping around.
Robin Wright would have
trying to remember everything.
Yeah, Robin Wright being in that movie and Connie Nielsen as her mom, it seems like they would have played more of a bigger part in those movies. Those actresses are really good to have just one throwaway scene where it's like, well, we're just here to tell you this message, you know, like,
right.
It didn't. It's like, okay. I don't know.
And mind you, I went in trying to like this movie, man. Like even after the little kids running, the little baby running and cheating or whatever, baby Diana, I was like, okay, I ain't like that, but we still have more to go.
Right.
But see, I still wasn't happy and I still wasn't enthusiastic or encouraged because remember, I told you that I managed to get in 10 minutes or so of the beginning.
Yeah.
I described to you that part and I was like, I like, and you was just like, yeah, well, it ain't getting better. Matter of fact, it got worse.
Right.
In the form of the intro of antagonist, female antagonist. I'll call her antagonist number one because I was actually more excited about what they would do with Cheetah, more so than Maxwell. I didn't care because every time I watched the trailer, I was scratching my head on how they were gonna make this dude a worthy opponent.
He's a worthy opponent.
I know, but
in the
because my knowledge of him was so limited that I brushed it off, and I was prepared to say. And even if was he a worthy opponent from a combatant perspective in the comics? No, he was more of the Lex Luthor.
He was more Lex Luthor. Now in the comics,
so the fight scenes weren't going to be about that guy.
Right. In the comics, he had
resources.
Later in the comics, he had the ability to control people's minds.
A la Purple Man.
Yes.
Killgrave.
Yeah, like he sewed Superman up and made Superman think that Wonder Woman was Doomsday, and Doomsday had killed Lois, and he went after Wonder Woman, like fought her all the way to the sun and back. I mean, he was enraged. He was like, and spoilers, but in the comics, Wonder Woman ends up snapping his neck. He's like, I'm not going to stop. She's like, stop this. Stop doing, stop mind controlling Superman. He's like, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to have him kill you and everybody else. And she just went, just snapped his neck. So that was right.
That was the end of him. So his character died. Okay.
Right. So he was kind of the conniving, Lex Luthor-esque character with power. So
right. And so I had no knowledge of that dude.
To see how he was going to be portrayed in the movies, and this snake oil salesman that doesn't have anything.
Con man.
That knows about Roman antiquities. He just somehow focuses. He can't figure it out, but he can figure out that there's this stone that if I rub it, or basically wish that I become the stone itself,
I can. Yeah, it's stupid.
Which the logic goes out the door. It's like, okay, you make one wish to this rock, and you get your wish, but it takes something from you.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And it's completely random. It is completely random what it takes until he becomes the stone, as it were, and then he can then choose what he takes from the person. So how did that
writing perspective? Yeah. So from a writing perspective, it's like, and that's the thing when you have an object, and that object is, you make the object all powerful, and it's like, well, insert storyline here. Like that's what I see when I see an object being used as the driving force for everything.
Yeah.
Marvel did it masterfully with the Infinity Stones. It was like they were using the Infinity Stones to do different things.
Yeah.
But it made sense in the end.
Yeah.
Because these magic rocks were dope.
Yes.
They needed to go into a gauntlet so this big bad can do some
I'm going
work.
to assemble the gauntlet.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So that made sense.
Yeah.
Here, you have the stone that somebody rubs it, and then all of a sudden it's like, well, here's this storyline. And then, well, we told you this logic, but no, it don't work here now. Like it's a different logic now that he's become the stone.
Rules changed.
Right.
And then the rules changed again.
Yes.
To where now physical touch was no longer required because they wanted to take the story to a global level.
Correct.
And to where everybody can manipulate everybody in the world.
Right.
Like, what are we doing? And it was so stupid. It was so stupid. I think there's a child in my room. I'm recording. All right. I even told them I was recording. Yes, I said that.
Yes.
Close my door. No problem. All right. Oh boy. Anyway. So yeah. Either I lose connection or children come in.
Mm-hmm.
One of the two. On my side only. Anyway, so physical touch was required of the stone. He becomes the stone, and he's going around and he'll grab a person and tell them, what do you wish? And you can grant yours and take from you. Now, all of a sudden, when he hears the president say, well, the satellite and the broadcast that we shoot all over the world or whatever, those radio waves, they touch everything. Did you say they touch everything? I was like,
no, you got to even take that back a little bit. So he went to the president just to get I don't even know what he's wishing for at this point. He's wishing for everything, and I just
I think what they were trying to get you to understand is that what the stone took from him originally was his health. His health is deteriorating.
Right.
Now, his business is flourishing. Now, I'm guessing that this is what's going on. His business is flourishing, but he's dying.
But he's the stone itself.
Right. But the stone, it's gonna take something from you. His health is deteriorating. But he's gotten his wish already.
Right, but he's the stone itself. So the stone is destroying itself. Because if he dies, what happens? Somebody rubs his
that's what makes it. I'm not arguing for it. I mean, it's all dumb. Right. But he needs the world to make wishes to like bolster his health. You see what I'm saying? Because he's taking their life force at this point.
But he's not even here. The crazy part about that transmission thing, which I thought was corny. He's in the
corny.
Well, he's in the president's office and he's talking about one thing and he's about to walk out because he tells the president, well, I want you to recognize me as a shadow nation with no jurisdiction.
Right.
He's about to walk out and they just conveniently have PowerPoint boards up of this complex communication satellite system. Oh, what is this?
What is this? And then that's when he gets to explaining how all the radio waves will touch. And now that is now replacing physical touch now.
But here's I
hate
that because he doesn't hear. If I'm watching TV and he's speaking to me and saying, I want your wish, he cannot hear me.
He can't hear it.
Yes, he's not God. He can't hear my prayer.
It was
dumb.
Ridiculous.
It was
so stupid.
Because the signal doesn't go back to him. He's
right. And neither is he touching those who are speaking.
Right.
Radio waves don't count. I don't care how much you tried to explain it when he, got his little light bulb moment and was like, you mean they touch everything? No, Patty, no, you failed on that one. You tried to explain it and so that we would push that aside and say, okay, no. The rule was physical touch.
Right.
That's how the stone works.
Right, and you set it up. The
The
guy was
rules
making
don't
a joke.
change because radio waves are being broadcast.
Right.
This is a figure of speech touching when, as far as the radio waves.
Yeah.
Fail.
Yeah.
The whole Stone thing was terrible. To the point they even, came up with the standard trope. I think my internet. Can you see me all right, man?
Yeah.
Like okay. The standard. I'm a nerd. I'm unpopular. I can't walk in heels. I'm so awkward. Person becoming the super dope antagonist.
Yeah.
It felt like Jamie Foxx Electro all over again. I hated it. I love Kristen Wiig. I just hated that she got wrapped up in this movie. I didn't like the way they created Kristen. Created Cheetah. And I make the joke. I was like, I hate the fact that her motive of getting into a knockdown drag out with Wonder Woman is because she didn't want to lose her hot girl summer. And I was just like, I hate this.
Yeah, I
that's
think,
not enough.
Yeah, I think the issue I have with some of these movies, there's enough comic book material to mine to make a good movie. Cheetah's origin, there was a band of Amazons, renegade Amazons.
Yes.
Right.
She's from Themyscira.
Right.
She can be dope from the jump. You don't have to create random gemologist or whatever she was.
or even that. Like, she could have been an archaeologist. And like, I think one of the stories was she went into this jungle area. I forgot where it was. And it was kind of like a Wakanda kind of situation. Now there's some craziness to the story. Like, I guess the person that received the powers of the cheetah, they had to be a virgin and something else.
But you can change the rules if you want.
Change it up. Yeah. And it makes sense. But she got imbued with those powers by stumbling upon that. And there could have been a story.
Because there was a dagger in the original and she was stuck with it or something like that.
Right. So there could have been a way to just have Wonder Woman and Cheetah and the movie be about that. Don't introduce Maxwell Lord into it.
And that's why I think you could have done the Themyscira and stayed there.
Right.
You could have just stayed there. You didn't have to bring her into the country.
You would have come to Themyscira and said, okay, I'm tired of y'all. I'm coming to your house. I'm coming back.
It's like, you know what? Y'all kicked us out. It could have been her leading that band.
Right.
Of renegades, man. Infighting.
Right.
Within Themyscira.
Right.
Easy. Yeah. Now you're separated. Just like you said, but the point you made earlier, you're separating yourself completely from all the rest of the movies. Right. Because it's outside of that realm.
Right. The rules, the rules of the wishing stone or whatever that crap was called, that was the thing that annoyed me the most. It's like, okay, so Diana makes her wish that she wants Steve Trevor back. Okay. So he comes in the form, so corny too. It's another guy. Somehow his soul gets implanted into a random guy. And he finds Diana and he says something that she remembers them saying. Like he puts a digital watch in her hand and says,
right,
oh, you're Steve and all I can see is you. And you're just like, oh my God. Like,
right. And this dude had a life, most likely. We don't know for sure. Right. Dude could have been married. Dude could have had a job somewhere. This dude, and all of a sudden, he's missing.
Right.
Like his family or whatever. Where's my husband? Where's my brother? Where's my dad? Where's this dude? Now he's just running around with Wonder Woman. The dude, he might have been a member of the LGBT community and not even necessarily like women. This dude is, you know what I'm saying? Like this. You're just gonna take this man away from whatever life he may have been living before he was occupied by some wish stone stuff. Like,
yeah, and that's where the characterization of Wonder Woman, like, it didn't dawn on her that this is wrong. This is bad. This guy is like, I know Steve Trevor's in there, but this guy is another human being. But
exactly.
No, I want to sleep with you, and
right. I mean, it was an hour of 20, an hour or so, 10 minutes or so of just emo Hallmark movie stuff. And I was telling you,
the female empowerment part. He's the one to tell her, you got to let me go.
Right.
Huh? Like, Wonder Woman she is the star of the show. She's the one that's showing us how empowered women are.
Like, if you recall, in the first movie, he was awkward.
Yes.
And she was strong. And she was like, I'm not, I may be a little naive about stuff, but I'm super smart. Maybe they were having that conversation on that boat.
Yeah.
She was like, no,
I'm the one that's supposed to approach you about sex or whatever. And she's
right.
Like, well, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Now she was just like, I'm not that, like, I'm not like a bimbo or nothing. I'm about that work. Like, right. I'm probably above your pay grade.
Right.
Quite honestly. And then she just, like you said, she's a shrinking violet a little bit to a degree.
Right.
And then I don't like.
Well, and that was the point I was going to make. That was the point I was going to make about the rules of the wishing stone. So she makes a wish with Steve Trevor. What did she lose?
Well, they tried to make it sound like she lost physical power because she was getting thrown around by Cheetah in the White House, and she was catching bullets and not healing. And you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so
you see what I'm saying? Like, that's what trying to make us believe that she was losing.
See, I thought, and see, that's where the logic started, like, blending in for me. It's like, okay, then you had Barbara Minerva was like, I want to be like Diana.
Right.
So she really didn't lose anything. She was gaining her power. She was becoming like Diana. So I thought, okay, as she's becoming Diana, Diana's losing her power. But then, but then here's the thing though. They show her, like, I was like, okay, that's odd. She can't even break a lock off the garage door, right?
Mm.
Like, it took her a minute. She was like, oh, what is this? I can't break the lock off. But then, like, 20 minutes later, she's kicking trucks out the way, running at full speed, jumping over stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
And then a bullet
what
hits
are you
her
doing?
Like, and it's like, no,
right.
No, like, no, you can't decide what powers turn off and on.
She's already made the wish. She's dragging random dude who may have had a job, a family, or another life into the Middle East in the middle of these firefights. Right. That's selfish. Like, if you love that dude so much, leave him at the house.
Right.
Don't bring this dude along. And I mean, and like you said, it doesn't look like she's lost anything because, like you said, she's kicking, ATVs over. She's lassoing rockets being shot out of, turrets, and she's spinning her rope. Her rope is doing more than the rope is doing a lot more than I thought the rope was capable of.
But here's the thing, Wally. She makes a wish for Steve Trevor, and this random dude loses, or maybe he gains because he gets to hang with Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but he ain't
really hang.
But he's not gaining anything because that dude up here is dead.
Right.
That's homie in there now. He's not getting anything.
That's the whole thing about that wishing stone that really just bugged the mess out of me. Like, it just kept the logic did not. not that you're trying to assign logic to it, but the rules you're telling me are not the rules. If you're going to establish the rules, okay, I'm going to follow your rules. You're telling me the rules of the game is if you touch this stone, you're going to get this and something's going to happen to you.
Right.
But I never saw that exchange.
Right.
And then the rules got thrown out. So like
they just threw the rules out completely.
Right. So that's where the story just really just got.
The stone was not a source of continuity at all. Like consistency is the word. Right. No consistency. The rules changed whenever there was a need to move the plot along.
Right.
And it was awful, man.
And dare I say that there were things written in there where I was like, okay, I know that, and it's an insulting to the intelligence because it's like, okay, I know you put a couple of scenes in there with Maxwell Lord and his son, Alistair. And how do I know his name is Alistair? Is because the villain yelled out his name, Alistair. Yeah. My Alistair.
Yeah.
Alistair. It was the equivalent of Bruce yelling out, did you say Martha? Martha, what did you say?
He did say Alistair at the beginning. And I remember
but they did not start like Alistair needed to be with Maxwell Lord when they introduced Maxwell Lord. They were father and son trying to make him meet. They just kind of just threw that dude in there and was like, oh, this is my son. Oh, my deadbeat ex-wife dropped this dude off. Oh, well, here's a toy. Go play, son. I'm selfish.
Get him a pony.
Yeah.
Get him a race car.
What? Right.
You don't have any, what?
Right. But somehow Diana's lasso of truth just puts the feeling back into his heart. It's like, it's bad, man. I mean, it's just there was too many.
Worst DCEU movie to date.
Yes,
it's the worst one,
and it goes.
And that's saying a lot.
It goes back to writing, and we've talked about this on many of a podcast. Like we talk about it with Black Lightning. We're like, who is in the writer's room writing this garbage? How do you go from season 1 to this? Like, and I'm not trying to make it about Black Lightning, but I'm just using that example.
An example,
how do you set up something? That means somebody wrote it. It was a singular person that wrote it. And I can probably say it was probably the executive producer, the Salim Akil guy. He probably was in his house and wrote the whole 12 episode thing. And then they hand it over to some writers and then they go, oh, well, what about this? And you're like, what about that? And the point I'm trying to make is like, DC needs to be careful, man. Like you don't see that with Marvel too much. Like people criticize Marvel for letting go of these well-known directors, but man,
for a reason they probably was trying to take them off the rails.
Edgar Wright, Scott Derrickson with Doctor Strange. They were like, we don't want your vision. This is our vision for our universe. Mm-hmm. We want you to play
within those parameters.
Yes, we want your expertise. We want your talent. We want your director prowess.
But you don't get free reign
and contribute to the story. Here's our Marvel Bible. This is what we're trying to do. And you need to, follow the book of Second Thanos, verse 5, chapter 5, verse 11. Like DC is just letting the director do whatever, man. There's only a couple of times where that can go off right. But there has to be somebody there that like reads the script and go, hey guys, you got to write this over again.
Yeah.
I don't know how this passed. After the success of the first one, you can't look back at the success of the first one and go, okay, how can you carry this to the second one?
Bro, 2 days after this movie dropped, they greenlit the third one with Patty at the helm again.
Right.
So I don't know if they're under the false impression that this thing was just awesome.
And it might
I don't know if they're looking at the streaming numbers and the 36 mil over 3 days, which is kind of phenomenal considering we're in a global pandemic and people are still running to the theaters to the tune of 36 million.
Yeah.
You know,
I think, it's that, that corporate talk. Like what they don't tell you is, well, we already signed her to a 3-pitcher contract.
Oh, I see.
Like
and they just kind of announce it.
It's just like it's a press trick.
I see. So that's just my naivete in that.
And I could be wrong about that, but I don't see, like, I think after she did the first one, they were like, wow, this movie went like gangbusters. We need you for 2 more films. We need more of this.
Yes.
And
we don't need no more of that.
Right.
And no more of that.
Right.
It's a shame that, and I'm going to point out, let's just talk about the only, in my mind, I don't know about you, the only positive thing about this movie was the end credit scene with Asteria, and they brought back Linda Carter, the OG,
right?
In the amazing dress. That was a good dress she had on, and in her little appearance or whatever. And she looks great, man.
Yes.
For her age, she's still fine.
Right.
And I really like that scene. That was a good scene. And see, it frustrates me because you could have used her in that Themyscira only Wonder Woman 2. Like she could have been the one to kind of help, Diana, get over her, whatever message you was trying to,
Well, in the movie, they made it seem like, okay, she was the one that fought off the guy.
Right.
And then she disappeared. So they raised her up as like, okay,
right.
We don't know if she perished. We just know that we're all right. So we're going to honor her.
Right.
Have this armor, which was a piece of aluminum foil after Cheetah got done with it. I was like, what was the point of this armor?
Right. So that's why I say, don't even scrap that whole story, that whole Asteria fought off all these folks, and come up with something else for Asteria so she can be in this, the Themyscira movie.
Right.
Stand alone, away from Justice League and all of that. And then Cheetah is still in there because she's a part of the culture.
Right.
Her and her band of renegades. They've messed that up now. And I don't even know why Kristen Wiig's character descended into this cat-like being. It was never explained.
Well, she asked, and that was the thing too. She got another wish. I thought you only wish one.
On the plane, you're only supposed to get one.
Right. But he granted her another wish. He said, I want to be something different. I don't want to be like these human beings.
Right. And that doesn't work. You can't do that. He pushed his son away. He's like, oh, don't waste your one wish. Don't waste that. The rules changed constantly.
So the son actually wished. He touched him and said, well, Daddy, I want you to be. He said, Daddy, I want you to be great. And he was like, dang it. Like, and he almost disappointed.
But before then, he was going to say, I just want to be with you or something. He's like, no, don't do that. Like, he wants to be with you and you pushed him back. Like, you're a horrible dude.
Yeah. And that's what made the ending so corny. Because it's like, well, he just needs to double down on that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the whole father and son thing was just like, it was sloppy.
It was sloppy.
Right.
The movie was sloppy.
Right.
I would like to know if those of you listening or watching the podcast, is there any there that like this movie? I haven't talked to a soul that's a friend of mine that liked it in the least. Everyone I talked to that I call a friend hated this movie.
It took a
not dip. It was all right or it was entertaining. Hated this movie.
It took a dip in the Rotten Tomatoes score,
but it's still sitting at 72 fan.
We're in a pandemic, man.
There's no excuse. Are you watching this? This one dude, I did read this one.
You can have Huggy Bear.
I almost walked out of my living room.
Bear dance across the screen. It might be entertaining for an hour during a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? Like
a pandemic.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I mean, so there's some things you just accept, you know. This was not one of them.
No.
This should have been like, this movie should have been the thing that like gave you that escape, made you feel good. They even wedged the Christmas scene at the end. It was like, that was insulting. They shot that just because it was getting released. This was a summer movie, y'all. Yeah. That's why you had the whole fireworks thing with the invisible jet, right?
Yes, yeah.
Then they go, well,
Christmas.
Yeah. And we're going to have, just to irritate you even more, we're going to have the dude come back not knowing that he has already slept with you, Diana. And we're going to have this awkward scene where, you know, he's like, I don't understand why I'm wearing these clothes, you know? We didn't want any more of that.
No more. I don't want no more of that. Yeah. I'm not going to make an effort to see the third one. I've already made up in my mind. I'm not going to see it. Just like I'm not seeing the third Thor movie. I'm not. Oh, fourth. Gosh, fourth. He's the only one with 4 movies, isn't he?
Is he? Oh yeah, Ragnarok, and then yeah.
That's interesting, considering that he was not considered any. I'm deviating. Wasn't one of the more interesting. Interesting. I don't want to say that he's interesting. He's not one of the more, I guess.
He's a character that they don't know what to do with.
Yeah, man. It's like, but people, when they think Avengers, they think Hulk, Cap, Iron Man. It ain't really Thor as much. And that's why his movies weren't doing that well until they put Hulk in it and turned it into, you know, buddy cop central. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know. We want your thoughts, man, on this BB84 as my companion calls it, BB84. Hit us up, patreon.com/EST982 podcast to give us your opinion, as well as $1 or $2 hat in hand, as I love to do. But if not, EST1982podcast.com is the website where you can go view and listen to the podcast. Hit us up on Instagram. It's the same tag, EST1982 podcast. Facebook group is always lively. That's where I get a lot of my information from those who are fans of the page. They put these articles up, and I learn a lot before it even hits my feed. So we appreciate that. I thank you to those who do that. Go out there and hit us up there. And man, just let us know, is there a soul on this planet or that subscribe to us in any way, on any form, that like this movie? Please tell me why you do, because this movie was awful. Full stop. That's all I got for you.
Well, what if they say they like it and they explain why? You just want to hear their side.
I want to hear it. I want to be swayed. I want to hear your point of view. I'm never one to not listen to somebody's point of view. I want to hear counterpoints. I want to hear intelligent, well thought out arguments as to why this movie was not bad. So please, if you would like to do that, we are all ears. Hit us up as soon as you can. And until next time, people, we will holler at you.